I also see the vision in Taylor Swift fans. Last night at 6:00 p.m., I turned on the New Heights podcast along with 1.3 million of my closest friends. That's how many of us were watching it live as Taylor Swift had a two-hour conversation with Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce. 1.3 million live viewers, which is crazy numerology because Taylor Swift talked about how much she loves numerology and her love for the number 13, which is called triskaidea capophilia, which is the opposite of the fear of the number 13. 1.3, 13. Oh no, I have fallen down the Taylor Swift fandom rabbit hole and I can't get up. I watched all 2 hours of this thing last night. We were about 45 minutes in and Chris goes, okay, that's enough. I go, what do you mean that's enough? We've been watching this for 45 minutes. We're gonna watch the whole thing. And then CJ, the interview literally broke the internet. Taylor Swift on New Heights actually broke the internet. Not the entire internet, but it did break the stream because we were like an hour and 45 minutes into this thing, and suddenly mid-interview, it fades to black mid-conversation and just cuts out, and it's because the YouTube stream crashed. Because there were so many people watching it live, and they eventually got the rest of it up. But I think the fact that the live stream crashed is a testament to just how big of a deal this was. It was a huge sports story. It was a huge pop culture story. It was just a big event that people treated like a sporting event or a political event. And there were a good number of people who went out of their way to watch an episode of New Heights on YouTube last night or stream it on wherever you get your podcasts. As of this morning, it's up to 9 million viewers. It is the most viewed episode of New Heights, which, duh. It has a way to go to be the most viewed podcast ever in the YouTube space. But I think it could probably get up there because the interest in this is massive. And it's crazy because like the ultimate cherry on top ends up being an album announcement. Like you officially get the album announcement. It's coming out October 3rd. It's the life of a showgirl, and she worked on it while she was in the middle of the Eras tour. And there's a song with Sabrina Carpenter on it, which gets me all kinds of excited. And Travis Kelce's heard it all, and he says everything's a bop, and it's way more of the pop element of it. Why'd you make that face?
What the hell is Travis Kelce supposed to say in that situation?
He'll tell you everything's great because that's what he does with his girlfriend, who he clearly loves and adores.
Very much so, right?
Yes.
I'm just saying, like,
I know.
Am I going to take Travis Kelce's word on
No.
Taylor Swift?
And I'm not taking Taylor
album?
Swift's word on her album.
I got
and
you.
like as a new member, I'm like a fringe Swiftie.
Mm-hmm. We talked about it. You fought it for a while.
I've fought it,
You
but I'm
fought it for
finally
a while.
embracing what I was always meant to be.
Yes.
The album is like secondary to me.
She's just an interesting person.
Fascinating.
Okay.
And watching her in that format,
Yeah.
fascinating. Like, I don't think we have ever had a situation where she has talked for 2 straight hours in as real and natural of a setting. And those three have incredible chemistry. Both Jason Kelce operating as, they're calling him the new Barbara Walters, which is a slight mischaracterization of a podcast that is comfy cozy and people chatting and having fun in a natural setting, and Barbara Walters, who would have gotten to the middle of the interview.
Let him be.
But
If he wants to be Barbara Walters, let that man be Barbara.
He's such a big personality. It's unfair to him too. Like, he's just so fun and has such like a magnanimous personality to watch. And so he drives the interview or the conversation. And then it's Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. And it's this insight into her, but also into their relationship. And I will never sit here and pretend that we 100% know the inner workings of a celebrity relationship, of any relationship. You never know what goes on behind closed doors, but especially in the celebrity space, because like, that's showbiz, baby. Everything is PR, and all of this is meticulously planned out with the album drop and Travis Kelce on the cover of GQ, and it's coming up on the football season and having this episode of New Heights. But in watching those two interact, like, simply being able to interpret their conversations and their body language, they have a really cool thing going on. They have a really cool relationship. And the way that they respectfully talk about one another and support one another, there were multiple times where Travis Kelce would say something like, she's the greatest singer ever. And Taylor Swift would be like, yeah, says my boyfriend. And then he would say another thing and she'd be like, yeah, says my boyfriend. And then he would keep doing it over and over. And like, on her end of it, she went on this like story of describing Travis Kelce as a human exclamation point. which is a great way to describe someone. And you see Jason Kelce's response to her describing him in that way. And you kind of see this like in real time clicking of Jason Kelce being like, what an awesome way to describe this person that I have loved my entire life. And just the interactions back and forth. At one point, Taylor Swift, like, kind of got on Travis Kelce and told him to stop pretending like he doesn't know big words. She's like, you know these words, stop it. You know what this means. And then he did a whole bit where he's like, she's so hot when she uses big words. And I'm like, oh my God, why is this so sickeningly cute? But it's so real. Like the way he looks at her is real. The way they interact. She told the story of how she got her master's back and she starts crying in the middle of it. And he kind of holds on to her in a very affectionate and loving way. And it was incredibly engaging. You learned some things. I didn't know that Andy Reid had a hand in setting them up. Andy Reid had a friendship previously with her father. And so Andy Reid essentially was like, yeah, you should give this guy a chance. And Taylor Swift had no knowledge of football whatsoever. Like she joked how she used to think that the quarterbacks would line up against one another, which is how we talk about football. So I can understand how someone who doesn't follow the sport would think that it's, I think she said, was it Jared Goff and Josh Allen? I think she was like just expecting those two. So when she asked Travis Kelce what it was like going up against his brother in a Super Bowl, what it was like seeing him on the other side, and he had to explain to her, like, well, you know, he wasn't right there. We're on the same side of the ball. But it was very fun. And at one point I was laughing loudly, and Chris just goes, you're getting a little too into this.
You're not.
And I said, no. And it doesn't have to be, like, you don't have to make fun of people for, well, okay, there's a line to be drawn at sometimes. But I found it a fascinating pop culture moment. And you and I, to bring it back to the Barbara Walters of it all, we just had this conversation last week about the big celebrity interview and how we don't have those anymore. The last big one we really had was the Oprah interview with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. And now I do think podcasts represent, it's different because podcasts are for a place of comfort, and especially when you're going on with someone you know, they're never going to try to get you with a gotcha journalism question. And there were, a handful of things that I thought would have been interesting to hear Taylor Swift talk about that they didn't ask yesterday. I would love to know what Travis Kelce's response would be to, like, the president of the United States says that he hates your girlfriend and that she's not hot anymore. Like, I'm fascinated in that. Barbara Walters would have smacked him with that question. This was not the place for that. This was just a conversation amongst friends to be safe and to enjoy themselves and to get a glimpse of who she is when she's not in an interview setting. She just seems chill. I hate to say it. Seems like a chill girl. Seems like someone I would enjoy having a glass of wine with or sitting and watching a football game with at this point.
I think we've moved from that sort of a interview, the way things were done, because I think we've changed as a collective what interests us. And what interests us now, we do like the scandal. Don't get me wrong. The love of the scandal is not going to go anywhere anytime soon. But we want to know that these people who have these larger-than-life personas, these larger-than-life characters out here in various industries, we want to know that they do regular stuff and that the interactions are similar to the interactions that we have, that Taylor Swift's interaction with her boyfriend and her boyfriend's brother is similar to the interactions that I would have with my wife and her siblings, or my wife has with me, her husband, and my siblings. Like, we want to know that. So to see that playing out in front of you, millions, right? I can see how that would appease you if that's somebody that you're genuinely interested in. I give people, what is it? Grief? Guff? Is it guff?
It's grief.
Well, I give people.
Give them grief.
Don't you give? Stop giving me guff or gruff or something like that. Isn't that a phrase? I don't know. I'll look it up. Either way it goes. I give people that type of thing because it's playful. I jab at you. You're supposed to jab back. I create a space where you can make fun of me for Ninja Turtles as I sit here in my Ninja Turtle shirt while I make fun of you about whatever thing it is that is your thing.
Yeah.
This will never be my thing. And I hope everybody knows when I'm teasing you, I do so with love. And I appreciate the fact that you found something relatively harmless to make your thing and make part of what you are. Also, when is the album coming out?
October 3rd.
Is that Mean Girls Day?
It is. It's like, oh my God.
So
This is like a very proud moment.
What?
Because I don't think you previously would have known that was Mean Girls Day.
Listen,
October 3rd.
Life, you're allowed to use whatever resources you can to get the answer. I cheated. Somebody brought it up in the chat. That's the only reason I know.
God,
I don't even know what the hell it means to be Mean Girl Day. Why is it Mean Girl Day?
I was so proud of you.
Okay, don't be proud. Never
because
be proud
Aaron
of me.
Samuels asked her for a pencil, or asked her what day it was. It's October 3rd.
Who? Asked who?
Aaron Samuels
Who's
asked
he?
Katie Heron.
Who's that? Wait,
It's Mean Girls the movie.
Okay.
Just move on. It's okay.
No,
it's
I
okay.
don't want to move. I want to know these
But I do love
things.
that it's coming out on October 3rd.
So is she going to be the new Mean Girl, right? Like, does this mean you hadn't done the research on if
No,
Taylor
I'm
Swift
not
is going
in
to be
that
on
yet.
Broadway in the new Mean Girls?
Well, I am
reboot?
excited about the fact that there is some trickling. This is sheer rumor and speculation, but this is how you could really hook me in. Is this whole like the life of a showgirl? Again, reckless speculation. Some people think that she might be doing a like limited run at the Sphere, which tickets would be $8,000 million trillion.
That's fine.
But there's also speculation that a Broadway show could be in the works. And in that case, she's so smart. Like I say that very flippantly, and I don't want to sit here and be like, I had no idea Taylor Swift was this smart. Like, she's a writer, and you can hear when she converses, her vocabulary is incredible. Like, she sounds like an English teacher speaking to you with the words that she will randomly drop and the way that she frames sentences and frames thought processes. But even when she was talking about her Eras tour and like all the little motifs that she sprinkled through there and homages to specific either Broadway references or show references or book references, I'm like, girl, you're so deep. No one understands what you're talking about right now, except for your deepest fans. But I do think there's this showmanship or showwomanship to her that would be very interesting from a Broadway space. I found it fun. She bakes sourdough. She's in her sourdough era. She's making Travis Kelce sourdough. Want to know my biggest takeaway, CJ? What? Do not draft Travis Kelce in your fantasy football leagues this year. Don't. He's too in love. He's in too good of a space. He's eating sourdough every day. We don't need a sourdough eater. We need someone who's getting svelte. Getting ready for the football season.
I don't need to draft Travis Kelce because he's eating sourdough.
Is the Chiefs dynasty done because Travis Kelce fell in love with Taylor Swift?
Not because this man didn't produce at all in the regular season last year. He looks hobbled when he runs up and down the football field. And isn't he my age? Which is entirely too damn old for a football player, especially a tight end, to be extremely productive. It's a sourdough and the love. That's why I shouldn't draft him. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
I also did love her. Sorry, I'm thinking of all the things that happened. She talked about how when Xavier Worthy got drafted, she was running around her house with excitement. She was like, how did I get to this spot? And I was like, I totally understand that. Like, suddenly becoming interested in something that never before you had any interest in, and next thing you know, it's NFL draft day, and the Chiefs took Xavier Worthy, and you're having a conniption fit of excitement over it, and you're the one who breaks it to Travis Kelce. And then last thing before we get to Teresa Walker, she talked about her energy at one point. I did think their conversations around how they deal with the media and social media, but also just the media at large's response to their relationship was really interesting, because I do wonder that sometimes. It has to be so overwhelming, and none of us can begin to fathom what it's like to have 24 million unread direct messages or have to sift through such negative comments, positive comments, everything in between. And she talked about her energy and treating it like a luxury item. And she said to treat your energy like it's expensive and not everyone can afford it. And I was like, ooh, we even got a little therapy from Taylor Swift on this podcast. Oh God, I'm deep. This is tough. This is tough for me to admit, but I am here. Swifties, please welcome me with arms wide open.
The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hart, live every weekday at 8 a.m.